Welcome to the Mathematics Professional Development Series, sponsored by the Making Math Matter grant in partnership with the Blue Springs School District, Hickman Mills School District, Center School District, Wellington Napoleon School District, and KCPT. Today, I'm with Charles Andrew Riley. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
We're going to be talking today about what happened in his second grade classroom and looking at all the great things that were going on. Mr. Riley, let's talk a little bit about what happened in your classroom yesterday. How did everything go?
I was really happy with how everything went. We've been working on addition for a long time, and so we've been building stamina and experience with tools, and I noticed that everybody was using the tools, and that using the tools actually helped them to find the missing number in the problem that we were working on that day.
What was your main focus and goal? What was the takeaway that you wanted your kids to have?
The main takeaway was being able to use what they had learned with addition and number sense to find a missing addend. Normally, kids are asked to find the sum or the result of adding two numbers together, but we were taking away one of those numbers and giving them the sum and using those two to find the missing addend.
Now, you've been working with me for the past 2 years in the Making Math Matter grant.
Correct.
And you're a third-year teacher. Correct. How much have you grown in the past 3 years from when you started day one in the classroom to where you are now?
Tremendously. When you're first put into a classroom, you come in with all this background and education, and then you realize when you're in front of kids, it just all goes away, and you feel like you're starting over from scratch every day. And having the experience with the math grant has given me a lot more of a set of goals and a trajectory for where I want the kids to go. So I have a clearer picture of where I want them to be at the end of the year. Okay. And how to get there.
Well, let's talk about the tools that you were using. You know, I noticed that you were using technology. Mm-hmm. The kids were all over the place with iPads, QR codes. Is that what it looks like every day in your classroom?
Just about. So my school is set up as a STEAM school, emphasizing science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. So the technology piece is a real big part of what we do as our school culture. So that was pretty typical as far as using the iPads and QR codes and stuff like that, yeah.
Awesome. What are some of the best tools, or what are the favorite tools that your kids love to use?
It honestly just depends on the kids, because all the kids are so different and every kid just latches on to different things. So some kids really like drawing, so having them be able to draw on whiteboards and even on the desks as we do, it seems like a little thing, but a lot of kids just really enjoy being able to work on the desk with markers, so something as simple as that. And of course, a lot of kids are really interested in the iPad and iPad games and other programs and stuff that the district uses too. So it's everything.
Awesome. When I'm looking in your classroom, you know, there's a lot of challenges teachers face every day. What were some of your challenges that you faced in that lesson?
One of the biggest challenges that I'm facing as a second grade teacher is encouraging kids to talk through their thinking. One of the things I've learned with the math grant and in the trainings that we've done, one of the speakers at the Summer Institute said math is about thinking, not about doing. And I remember how when I did math, the teacher showed us how to do the math, we copied what she did, and then we did it over and over and over again. And now we're thinking and wondering how to get kids to talk about their thinking and really explore what they're doing. And if kids are not used to that, it's really hard to pull that out of them. A lot of times kids can get the right answer, but they can't tell you how they did it. And so it takes a lot of practice and modeling to try to give them the language, and then once they get comfortable with it, having them give it back and then seeing what they did to get the answer so they can go on to more complicated and challenging things.
Okay, you're talking about having them talk about their thinking and kind of like math talks. Specifically, what type of problems do you like to give to really push the kids to talk about them? Like, what kind of problems did you give yesterday to really get your kids engaged?
Just trying to go a little bit different route than the traditional route where everybody tries to find the sum. So when we take different numbers away, and some people might call that algebra, but now, especially with Common Core and other things that's being introduced earlier and earlier, it really stretches the kids' thinking to try to understand what's happening when they add two numbers together to get a second number and what the process is along the way.
Okay, so where do you go on from this lesson? What's it going to look like tomorrow, the next week, and as you move forward to the next month?
So in the next week, it's mostly just about getting them comfortable with the process of what they're doing and still being able to talk fluently about what they're doing, and then we move on to subtraction.
Okay, what did you have to do before this lesson? What pre-teaching was done, and what level are the kids at right now?
So we worked a lot with kind of the straightforward addition, so where you have both the addends there in double digits and you're trying to find the sum. The main goal that I had was giving them tools rather than just using the up and down, what we might call the vertical algorithm, where you stack the numbers on top of each other and add the ones and add the tens and make sure you carry and do all that stuff. So I'm really trying to give them tools to see what's happening when they're adding, that they can see that they're moving forward on a number line, that they can see that they're putting sticks of 10 together and maybe even turning blocks of 1 into a stick of 10 when they're adding it together. It's all about giving them the tools so they can see the numbers better, and that really backs up the number sense that they have.
Awesome. Final thoughts. I mean, it was a great lesson. I enjoyed being in your classroom.
Thanks.
What were your final thoughts on the day?
I was just happy that a lot of them were able to use the tools that we had worked on and that I had given them to be able to solve the problem, and they could tell me about it.
That's awesome. Let's step into Mr. Riley's classroom.
The most important part of math is the process, not the answer, okay? We want to make sure we're engaged in the process and we're not so focused on the answer that we forget about what we're doing to get there. All our learning comes about not in getting the right answer and in finding out new ways to solve problems. Okay, thumbs up if you got that. Good. So we've been talking about adding two-digit numbers together. We've used all these strategies. Today we're going to add a little bit of a wrinkle into it. Normally, when you add numbers together, you have the two numbers you're adding and you're trying to find what? What is that word that we try to find normally? Subhan?
The sum.
We usually try to find the sum. But sometimes we're not looking for the sum, are we? What else could we be trying to find? What else could we be trying to find, Jaden?
The missing addend.
A missing addend. So that's the kind of problem I've got for you. I want you to look up to the board up here, please. Okay? This is my delicious donut dilemma. Okay, everybody, eyes up here. Make sure you're looking. All right, Sophia wants to bring donuts for all the second graders. That's so nice of her. She bought 24 donuts at Lamar's, and her mom had to buy the rest at Price Chopper. There are 59 students in second grade. How many donuts did her mom buy? Now, you can use any of the strategies that we've gone over so far. You can use Katie Cubes, hundreds chart, hold on, quick draw. You can use open number lines, anything to help you solve the problem. I want you to work together in partners. Are there any questions before we begin? You can use markers, you can use whiteboards.
Okay, and then how many more does she need to make 59? I think 35. 35.
What do we got?
35.
What are we working on? Okay, you know what I'm going to ask you. How did you find it? You started with what?
20, but then...
You started with 20?
No, we started with 25.
Okay, why did you start with 25? Okay, you're going to add 3 more tens. Why is that?
Because that equals 50.
What are you counting up to?
59.
Oh, okay. Okay, keep working. Deanna and Maisha decided to add 24 and 59. Did anybody else do that? Does somebody have any feedback to offer me here with adding 24 and 59? I see 24 and 59 up there, but nobody else said they did that. Okay, you say they counted up from 24. They added 24 and 59 together. So they started at 24 and added up 59 more. Selena, what do you think?
I think that they counted up so they could get to 59.
So if we add 24 and 83 together, It would make a lot, wouldn't it? A lot more than 59. Okay, so what do we need to do instead? Who did something else? Everybody listen to Subhan, please. See if he did what you guys did.
So first we had 24 candy cubes, then we added 35.
Why did you add 35?
30 plus 20 equals 50, and 5 plus 4 equals 9, and that's 59.
Okay. Did anybody else do something like that where they started with 24 and then added some tens? Anybody else do that? So it sounds like Subhan and Yusuf added their tens first. They added 3 tens to 24 to get 54. And then they added 5 more to get to 59. Did somebody do something different?
No. Yes.
You guys did something different?
Yeah.
What did you guys do, Ben?
So basically I started with 24 because that's the first number. I counted up 3.
3 what?
I counted up 3 tens.
Oh, that sounds like what they did. Are you just saying it's different because you used a number line? Because they added 3 10 sticks of Katie cubes. Is that the same thing you did on the number line?
Yeah, all the Katie
Yeah,
cubes.
right. So you counted by tens first. How many tens did you get? How many tens did you count by?
I counted the jumps.
Yeah, how many jumps did you make?
I made 3 jumps and I made 3 jumps and then I went ahead and jumped 5.
Okay. You guys made 3 jumps of tens and then 5 ones. Ben, is that the same as what you guys did?
Yeah.
They did 3 jumps of tens and then 5 ones. Is that the same as what you did?
Yeah.
Yeah, you made 1 jump of 5 though, right? Okay. So who can tell me what they found for the missing addend? What did the problem ask us?
Oh yeah, how much donuts?
There's a little more to it than that. What did the question ask us? What did the problem ask us?
Her mom died.
Oh, how many donuts did her mom buy? So how many donuts did her mom buy?
35.
Her mom bought 35 donuts, right, Sophia?
Yes.
So Sophia bought 24. Her mom bought the other 35 to get donuts for all 59 second graders. Okay, you can look around and see I've got QR codes at various spots around the room. So find one closest to you. Go ahead and use your iPad to take a picture of the QR code, and you guys can get to work on the assignment that comes up. Okay. You will have to put your first and last name in there. Just type it in. Just your name.
A plus A.
Just talk with your teammates about it. Ask if it's okay with them.
9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
What are you counting up from?
4, 5, 6. So that is.
Well, I didn't put it.
Okay, are you working with your teams over here? Isaac?
Hi, David. 6, 7.
Ben, is he working with you? Here's what I'm noticing. When we did the first problem, you guys were all using cubes and drawings and working hard with your manipulatives, and doing number lines and stuff like that. When you went into the assignment, almost all of you stopped. Can anybody tell me why you stopped? Why you stopped using the cubes? Jaden, why did you stop?
Because we got it now. I mean, because we get it.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I've noticed a lot of people missing questions. Now, it's interesting because the first question we did, almost everybody was able to show me what they did and get it right. Now we're missing a lot of questions. And we're missing a lot of questions because a lot of people have stopped using your manipulatives. So why did you guys stop? Do you think it would help you to keep using them?
Yes.
How do we find the missing addend? Where do we start when we're trying to find the missing addend in an addition problem? Where can you start? Where can you start, Rodarius? At the other addend, the one that's not missing? Okay, so we could start with one addend. Then what do we need to do after we start with one addend? We start at the first addend, we start at one addend. What do we need to do after that, Anaya?
Count on from the first addend until you get to the sum.
Okay, count on from the first addend. Start with one addend, and then count on till you get the sum. If we start at the sum, what do we need to do? Who can tell me? If we start at the sum, count back until what? What? Well, we started at the sum. How do we count back to the sum? Nevaeh, can you help us out?
You have to count back to the added. You have to
Count back until you get to the addend, right? Count back until you get to the addend. All right. Good job, everybody.
Let's get some feedback from Mr. Riley's students.
I learned how to find the missing addend with an open number line.
My favorite thing about math is addition. My favorite thing about today's lesson was working together. My favorite tool to use is the number line. My favorite tool to use in math is Katie Cubes.
Thanks again for joining this Mathematical Professional Development Series sponsored by the Making Math Matter grant in cooperation and partnership with the Blue Springs School District, Hickman Mills School District, Center School District, Wellington Napoleon School District, and KCPT. Thanks for watching.